So recently I bought some PSVR glasses, and I have to say I quite enjoy it. I mean, sure, it's just a gimmick, but one that I really dig. Of course, not all games are great, but some of them are just very enjoyable. One of the games I like the most actually isn't even that much of a game, so to speak. It's just Gun Club VR, and you are only on a shooting range and do different kind of challenges. But I see myself returning to it from time to time. But that's not the point of today's video. Today I want to talk about The Walking Dead, and no, not Saints and Sinners, the actual good Walking Dead VR game. Today I want to talk about The Walking Dead Onslaught. Yeah, sure, I know what you think. Why do I play that crap when I know that Saints and Sinners exists? But I wanted something shorter, more arcadey to play, and I thought this could maybe be cool. At first it seems that the balancing was very bad, and you needed a couple of shots from the pistol, for example, to kill a zombie. And I have to say the starter pistol is still quite bad. You need at least 2 headshots to kill a zombie. And that's pretty stupid, I would say, especially in a Walking Dead game and a VR game. But I have to admit, after a while, I had fun with the game. Sure, it's not brilliant, it's no masterpiece, but it's fun. Let me explain what the basic premise of the game is. You play one of the Walking Dead characters. You can decide if it's either Rick, Carol or Michonne, and you find Daryl. Soon after you find him, he hurts his leg and you all return to the base camp. Now the game is split into different activities. You can upgrade Alexandria with a couple of buildings, which can also be upgraded separately. You can upgrade your weapons. You can also do something else, like go to the black board in the town and see who is coming to the town and what resources you have found and which resources are given to you by which person. You can also go on scavenging missions. You will really get used to them, because you have to find a lot of food, so that more and more survivors are coming to Alexandria. You don't actually see them in the town. You only get some photos of them and messages from time to time. When you find survivors, you can unlock missions that you can activate by Daryl, who is sitting at a campfire. These missions explain what happened right before you found Daryl. Basically, Daryl's story is that he went to a town, got trapped by a woman, then found out that she has a daughter and that some bad guys have captured her daughter. And from there you try to help her. These missions have a bit of story compared to the scavenging missions, which are just random loot missions. In scavenging missions, you really just walk around, grab everything you can and then fight your way to the van, where you get to the extraction zone, where you are picked up by a van. With everything that you collect, you can also upgrade your buildings, like I said previously, but also your weapons. Upgrading your weapons doesn't make those weapons only stronger, you also get some perks. For example, with the knife, when you kill a zombie, you can get some items, some resources with each kill. You can also upgrade your weapons to penetrate armor, as there are different kinds of zombies. There are the normal zombies that can just be grabbed and killed with a stab in the brain or a shot to the head. But you can also encounter some zombies in riot gear, which are much tougher. Sometimes you can kill them just by hitting them in the head with a hammer a couple of times. I think you can also try to stick the knife through the bottom of their head, but I think it worked only once, if it even worked then for me. Usually it's just an awkward stabbing around the shoulders when you are encountering those kind of zombies. And lastly, you also find some spiked zombies. I'm not entirely sure what exactly their strength is. Maybe it's just visual, but I guess they are a bit stronger and have more health, but I'm not entirely sure. You also find a couple of weapons, some that you know from the TV show, like Rick's revolver, Daryl's crossbow, Michonne's katana, Carol's knife, Tyree's hammer, and battle axe. I forgot what the name of that guy was who had the battle axe. And of course a Lucille skin for the baseball bat. But the really useful weapons do you find later on. I mean, at first the automatic pistol is quite useful, but it runs out of ammo very fast in the beginning, and you don't encounter a lot of ammo that much. But later on ammo is everywhere, and you can just mow down enemies by waiting a little bit until they are quite close and then just put 3 bullets into their brains. And Rick's revolver is also very useful, as you one-hit most zombies with it. The rifles and shotguns were not that useful because they all had this lever action style on them. And the lever action weapons here really kind of suck, especially the rifle, as you try to be very precise with it, but aiming with a rifle isn't that good in Onslaught. And also when you take a shot and then have to reload the gun with the lever action, you just have to really aggressively swing your move controller in a motion that is like reloading a lever action, and it just feels awkward and throws your aim off entirely. So that was a really bad design choice. Also it took a while to get used to the AR-15 style rifle here, but later on it was quite useful, so that was good. But I guess my favorite weapon was the submachine gun. I also like the hammer, but after a while it gets a bit exhausting to use it, because at least I swung it really hard. I think you don't really have to, but when I'm using a hammer I try to do the motion just as I would really if I would try to hit a zombie on the head with it. That probably made the hammer my favorite close combat weapon, because you only need like 2 hits with the hammer and the head explodes. And that's pretty cool. And even if you hit the zombie not correctly, you can still rip off his jaw, and that just looks kind of cool. So it was quite positive. At least it sounds so up until here, right? Well, while it wasn't as bad as I thought, it still wasn't that great. I mean, the scavenging missions, I had fun with it, but there is a lot of repetition in it. I mean, I think almost every mission has like this army camp that looks almost identical every time. And that's kind of weak and lame. Also, the horde function here is kind of dumb, because you don't see an entire horde, because you see the horde kind of coming closer. But the real threat is that they are also having this kind of red mist with them. And when you are in the mist, you just get automatically damaged over time. And that's just stupid. When you don't even see a zombie, why do you get damage? It also doesn't work when you think about the TV show or even the comics. I mean, a bite is deadly. Even if it doesn't kill you immediately, it will kill you later on. So they should have at least put some thought into this whole thing. They could have given the character some kind of protection, some kind of armor. Maybe they would also use riot gear, so that the health that you have is not your own health, but basically the resistance of the armor you have. Then it would also make more sense that you get more and more powerful later on and have more and more health, because you find better equipment or build it on your own. But that's not how this game works, and as it is a bit more arcadey, that would be still okay. I mean, as I said, it's not great, but it's playable. I had fun with it. But then there was also one point that really annoyed me. And for that I will go into spoilers. As I said before, the story of the game is that Daryl is trying to save a little girl. And right by the moment that you are more and more interested in it, and the story is reaching its high point, and you are waiting for the big showdown to happen, the game just ends. I am not kidding. the last sentences in the game's story are something like, yeah, we need to save that girl, and I will go on my own. That's what Daryl says, and then Rick says, okay, no, we will help you all, we will go now. And then it's over. You can't end your game like this. I mean, the story wasn't even that good, it was basically like a filler episode of the TV show, and then you don't even try to end it properly. I mean, what's even the point of this? It's also not in an interesting time of the TV show either, because it's right after the war with the saviors. I mean, you could do something with this, could make something interesting out of the rebuilding of Alexandria, but they don't do that either. You don't learn anything about the characters, you barely talk to them, and also most, if not all, characters are voiced by someone else. I think only Daryl has Norman Reedus as his voice actor. It feels like an almost finished game where they cut some parts that were interesting to be done on point, to reach a certain timeline. I'm not sure what they were thinking, to be honest. It also didn't make sense for me on a gameplay perspective, because as I said in the beginning, it's not that interesting, and after I had quite some fun in the last 2 hours, it just ends. I just received all the good weapons and could really go on and have fun, but no, it's just over. So overall it was still a disappointment, even though it wasn't as bad as I thought in the beginning. I'm not entirely sure what I would rate this. It would be either a 5 or a 6, but after I talked about it a bit more, I think I will just give it a 5. You can try it, but to be honest, play something else. I mean, other VR titles with zombies in it are better. I played recently also Arizona Sunshine, and it took me some time to get used to the controls. But when I had figured out what the best tactic is, it was really fun. When you know how to play Arizona Sunshine. I would say it's even more fun than the Walking Dead Onslaught. But yeah, as I said, it's not terrible, but it's also not good. You can maybe give it a try when you find it really cheap. I think you also don't need the deluxe edition, as it has just the skins, I think. I guess better luck next time. And I will come back to you when I played Saints and Sinners. Maybe that one really will be much better. Man, at least I hope so.